That's why the quote unquote why girls like bad guys, as DMX said. He made a great song about it. And so women love bad boys because they're feeding into their most basic nature. Now, they might outgrow that because they eventually want safety. So then they want safety. Well, that's the problem that you're seeing in our society now, where women go out and have fun at a young age and then they want to settle down and now they apply different rules to that man. Like, I know I know someone that's doing this right now. She had tons of fun from like 16 to like 26 or something like that. Like lots of fun. No judgment. But now she likes somebody and they like her and she's making him wait. And I said, "Are you out of your mind? Like you've just now decided that you're going to switch the rules for someone that you actually like and want to be with, which is fine. That's your prerogative that you could do that. But it's like if I'm that dude, I'm like, well, why'd you give it up? Like, if they weren't special, why'd you like what's going on here? And so it gets into this weird thing. So men are men are basic, yo. We're so basic. We're basic and very simple. That's why old women talk to an old woman that's been married a very long time. Talk to her. Every time I talk to an older woman, it boils down to don't disrespect him, don't hit him below the belt, make sure his stomach is full, make sure his balls are empty. It, like, is that complicated? No, it's simple. And then it's on the guy to provide emotional safety, to lead in the household, and like the rules for men are simple. How to apply it is different. And so, yeah. What's up, you control you? A little behind the scenes, I guess. Corey hit live and then told me about it in the middle of talking, which I like, Corey. I like you should probably do that more often. Have some Yeah, have some interesting conversations. You know how we do. We start every podcast with what we're grateful for. I'm grateful for God, family, life in general. Grateful that uh, a good friend to all of us is here because he had a health issue and it was scary. So glad he's here. Gets to bless this world with just him, and so very happy about that. Mm, yeah, I think that about covers it. Hopefully, everybody had a good weekend as we get this things going. So today's topic: rebuilding the inner man. This is a something that I believe that I'm always going to have to do for me personally. I'm already I'm always working on becoming a better version of myself in some way, shape, or form. I'm always striving to learn just a little bit more and sometimes put new filters in or new roadblocks, I guess to say. I don't have the right word, but the roadblocks didn't seem good. More caution. There it is. Caution signs to know, hey, we're going down a road that we don't want to go down. That's not going to tap into the best version of us. So let's go a different route. And so always doing that, always figuring myself out and becoming better because the only person that I can change is myself and the only person that I can truly truly control is myself and then pass that on to other people and hopefully help them as well if they deem it so. So yeah, before I get into this, I want to play a clip of from a movie. And I myself, I've gone through this, and I know a lot of men that do go through this. And when I listen to a lot of different podcasts or I see clips and they call it the red pill, you hear a lot of these guys talk in a certain way. And it's not always that they've gone through pain. It's just they're definitely worried about opening themselves up because of the fear. So, but yeah, let's dive into this clip.
I mean, what, you don't think I got feelings? You don't think I'm sensitive? Let me tell you something. I got more feelings in my left nut than you two schoolgirls put together.
Here we go.
Oh,
Come on now.
I know. I know what they say about me. I know what they say about guys like me. They say that we're pigs, right? That we're dogs.
In your defense, they don't exclude. I've been married for 5 years, and my wife still says.
Oh, that's right. They don't exclude. They say all men are pigs. All men are dogs. All men are scum. And they talk their little asses off about what monsters we are. But they don't understand that they're the very ones that created the Frankensteins they abhor.
Frankenstein was a whore?
Leave my wife out of this.
Laugh all you want, but I'm serious. Every womanizer, every player, every guy juggling 3 broads at the same time is only doing so out of fear. Fear of being crushed by a woman. Because one day, back in the day, they weren't a player. They liked one girl, just one.
And they gave it up to her, didn't
And
they?
they gave it up to her. That's right. They gave it up to her because they're little romantics back then. And they gave it up to the girl they love. And what happened? They got rocked, or they got crushed, or they got destroyed, they got cheated on, or laughed at, or something. And when they're finished picking up the little pieces of what was once their heart, you know what they said? Every single one of them made a vow.
Never to give it up again.
That's right, never to give it up again. But now we're talking about the real bastards here, the guys that break hearts occupationally. Because believe it or not, originally those cats were the most beautiful and the most romantic of all. And you know what happened? They're the ones that got hurt worst of all.
Because you never get over it.
You know, God, no! You never get over it. Yes, you recover, but you never get over it. And what happened? When they all recovered, you know what they all said? They all said, okay, I see, all right. If that's how it's gonna be, I can play that way too. So you see that we are all responsible for the cycle of the vicious circle.
So you're saying you're afraid?
Absolutely. I ain't never get my heart broken again like I did when I was 16.
Thank you, Corey. So the name of that movie is What Love Is. That scene, I believe, is really powerful for most men. I think he hit the nail on the head, especially at the first part where a lot of us open up our hearts and we do all the sweet things and the nice things, and we do all this because that's where a lot of us are raised to put a woman first, to treat her a certain way, and we do so. And when we get our heart broken, we never want to experience that pain again. And what's funny is that basically he's saying that he would rather live in fear than to push past that fear. And as I've talked about before, that's not truly living life. You're just surviving. You are in survival mode and just there, right? Anytime you let a fear stop you from going forward and doing something that you know that you should do, you're stopping your own progress. You're keeping yourself from growing and becoming a better version of yourself. And I think every human within reason knows what it's like to have their heart broken, especially now in this society. Now, the heartbreak doesn't have to be so much in a relationship, but if we stick with that, most people knows what it's like to get your heart broken. And so getting your heart broken, there's no simple fix to that, right? It's just time. Over time, you get over that. But to become a different person, to avoid getting your heart broken, is really killing off who you could be. And it doesn't allow you to treat a woman as great as you could. It doesn't allow you to treat a woman and help her reach her best self, right? And then all you do is you crush a woman the same way you were crushed. And that that is just bringing about negative energy over and over and over again, in a cycle in which it's not always easy to walk away from. And there's there's not there's no long-term positive effects of that, right? Sleeping around with lots of people doesn't make you a better man. It doesn't it doesn't mean that you're the man, right? Um and it's it takes a little bit longer for those effects to bother you the same way it does women, but it still gets to you. You're still adding energies to your system that honestly don't need to be there. And so what he was talking about is where is a place that a lot of men live. And I'm telling you that you have the ability to move past that adolescent version of yourself and grow the hell up. You can rebuild who you are. You can become something different, something stronger, something better if you choose that. So what I would tell him if that was a real life situation is you're kind of being a I can't say the word. Um you're being you're being soft. There we go. Being soft. You're being a sweet cake. Like you're being soft because you're so scared of this woman that you refuse to give her anything of importance because you're worried she might break your heart. Look, I just had this talk with one of my students. I said, if a woman says no to going on a date with you, that doesn't make you less than that doesn't make you less in any way. She's not into you. That's great. If a woman breaks up with you or leaves you, don't look at it like you're less than. Cool. It hurts, but keep it pushing. Cool. You don't want to be with me. Fine. If tells you, I don't want to be with you because of this, this, and this, and this, don't change any of that unless you actually want to do any of that, right? Well, you work too much, or you don't work enough, or you do this and you do this. Like, if you change any of that, that doesn't guarantee the relationship is going to work. It only will function is if you actually believe that yourself about you and you actually want to change that within yourself. If you want to make those improvements yourself, right? And I see a lot of men do that. I see men change to make the woman happy because they want a happy home and they want to make her happy, which I understand, but they don't actually want to change that themselves. And then when it doesn't work, their first thing is, I changed for you. And that was the wrong move. Change for you. Think about it as someone who's addicted to drugs or alcohol. Everybody can want to get them better, but until they make that choice, it doesn't matter. They have to choose to change. So, as a man, we have to take the time to rebuild ourselves. Now, how do you rebuild yourself? Ooh, one, you you have to decide what you want to make better about yourself. You have to decide, okay, I want to become wiser. I want to become more intelligent. That's going to require you to read more. What books? It depends, right? I'm not talking about you all of a sudden want to become a scientist. I'm talking just overall knowledge, right? To be wiser in this world. I So I would recommend reading books. You should make sure that you have emotional control over yourself so that you're not letting fear dictate where you're moving, right? How do you get emotional control over yourself? Well, you better start writing things down. You better start speaking things out loud. You better start confronting the things that you're afraid of. So, something that I have my fighters do, and sometimes I have men do this as well. Write down your fears. What are you afraid of? Right? In a fight, I'm afraid to get knocked out. I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of this. And in relationships, well, I'm afraid she's going to cheat on me. I'm afraid she's going to leave me. I'm afraid I'm not good enough for her. Okay, write all that down because let's face those fears. First off, you can't control whether someone sleeps with someone else. So even though that's a fear, let's put that over here. Let's put that in the fears that we can't control, right? You're afraid she might leave you. Well, again, there's nothing you can do to stop someone from leaving you legally. So you put that over here in the place where fears that you can't control. Well, I'm afraid I'm not good enough. Well, pause. Why is she with you if you don't feel like you're good enough? Right? She sees something in you. Now, whether or not you're living up to that right this second, I don't know. You may not be living up to that right this second. However, she sees something in you that she wants in her life. So it's incumbent onto you to keep building on that. Fix the things that you deem you need to fix. Well, I don't think I'm smart enough to be with her. We already crossed that by reading more books, right? I don't think I have enough money. Okay. Learn how to build more wealth, become more knowledgeable in finances. I don't believe I'm in good enough shape. Well, homie, go work out, go train. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm tall enough. Well, you can't fix that one unless you have some crazy surgeries. So get over that. Accept who you are, right? That's one of those things you just have to accept who you are, right? And you start attacking these fears and realize like these fears that you can't control, just let them go because there's nothing you could do with that. It's beyond you. And the fears that you can control, right? You attack them. And that'll help you. That alone will help build the confidence that you need to control your own emotions, right? After that, it's trial and error because every woman within reason is different, right? So you have to know what you want and what you're trying to do in a relationship. For instance, from top to bottom, if if I take a woman out, right? I know I'm going to open the door and close the door. And if she opens the door and gets in, I'm going to politely ask her, "Hey, next time I would like to open the door for you and close the door. So if you could be patient and wait, I would appreciate that." Right? Right off the jump. Now, if that bothers her or if she doesn't like that, she's not for me. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to pay for the meal. Right? Now, if I know I don't want to spend $300 on a meal, I'm not taking it to a spot that's $300. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna keep it within where I want to spend, right? Now, if that bothers her, again, she's not for me, right? And because you once you know these things about you, then it doesn't matter, right? I know I like writing little notes. I know I like getting flowers. I like doing cards, and I don't like to do them just on holidays. I like to do nice things just because. If that bothers her, that's on her. She has to get over that, right? I am who I am. Do you see where I'm going with this? And this is how you help rebuild who you are. Ooh, what's it say? Renaissance man? Uh maybe, maybe in some ways. I guess I consider a Renaissance man someone who's who's talented in writing, reading, fighting, or self-protection. He is just somebody who can do a lot of different things and very cultured. I'm not saying that you necessarily have to be that if they don't want to be, but I mean, women are attracted to Renaissance man. So typically, um, typically women are going to be attracted to a man that's cultured, but still has that quote unquote bad boy side. And so, I,
I agree. You're looking at me like I agree. I do.
that's funny. So it's when you're rebuilding yourself, you got to understand that the core programming of you isn't going anywhere. So whatever values that you have, if you want them, then keep them, right? And before anybody gets on here, if you tell me, "Well, I want my woman to cook and clean," oh, well, that's not. I guess that's a value system if you want to stay at home wife, right? But even that, you got to communicate through because do you make enough money to even have that, right? And if you do, I don't know any religious books if you're a religious person that says that only the woman should be doing this, right? It doesn't you're supposed to be her helpmate just as much as she's yours. So you got to help out too, right? And so the biggest thing is recognizing your fears and recognizing that it's your job to face those fears. Again, the clip that we played was all about this man being afraid to give his heart to a woman. And I can understand that. And I've been there. And I'm telling you that living in that fear is not a place you want to be in. It doesn't allow you to reach your fullest potential. You must rebuild that inner side of yourself to become the man. Stop being the boy. Kill the boy. Stop being a boy. A boy lives in fear. A boy might be afraid of the dark. A boy might be afraid to do certain things, right? You have to become a man. You have to know what it is that you want in a relationship. You have to know that because it makes it easier to navigate the world. You have to know what you're willing to put up with and what you're not. And you have to be open about that. Like about anything. There's certain things that I know that there's certain things that I know that that are just things that I have to do as a man. I don't care what society says. Just because this has happened recently, a woman took out the garbage at the gym. I asked her never to please do that again. Please don't ever do that again. That's my job. Or one of my students' job or my son's job, right? No woman should be taking out the trash. Not like that, right? Will I have my daughter do it sometimes? Yeah, it's dad's business. Dad's working. She could go do something sometimes. Sometimes. So there's certain things I will never let a woman open the door for me. A woman will never pump gas while I'm in the car. I don't care if I'm in the back passenger seat. I'm popping out. You don't got to pump. I got it. Right? There's just certain rules that I look, this is how it's going down. If this bothers you, so be it. And because I know that about myself, it's easy for me to stand up and hold myself accountable. Right? There's certain things that I just despise and won't tolerate. So I avoid those things or let it be known that that's not going to happen. To rebuild yourself, I recommend journaling and and journaling, that's writing, but also the one thing that's helped me a lot is just talking out loud, whether it's in audio or video form, because sometimes I want to hear what I'm saying back. I want to hear it. And so if I want to hear it back, then I got to record it, right? I know if I go too long without lifting weights or without punching something, I become mm, my caution signs aren't as strong, right? So I become a little more emotionally sensitive or reactive because I just need to work. I need to get that out, right? I need to sweat. I need to work. I need to grind. I need to do something physical. And so it's why I lift weights 3 days a week. It's why I usually hit pads or hit somebody once or twice a week, right? So that helps. So you have journaling that helps with your mind and your emotional well-being. You have again, journaling could be audio, video, writing, whatever you deem fit. You have some kind of training, right? Or lifting or something. And one that I think probably gets overlooked a lot is having people you trust to talk to. And especially for men. Like this is something that is just hard for men is having a brotherhood or having men that you can talk to and be open and honest with. That they're not going to pass judgment. They might tell you when they're probably going to tell you when you're messing up though. And that's what you need, right? And so it's and it's not like we lack friends. Like dudes are really good at having friends their whole lives. Like I have people in my I don't think I have anybody new in my life that hasn't I, it just doesn't happen. Like I don't know. Corey, do you make a lot of new friends that you trust? Yeah. So
No, wait a minute. I meant Thailand like 50 years.
yeah, yeah. But not male, but there's a brotherhood. What I'm saying is a brotherhood. Yeah, but that's not a brotherhood. That's
Oh, yeah.
so what I'm saying is like I know I've had I don't even call them friends anymore. They're my brothers, and we've been on the same block since we were like somewhere between 5 and 7. And we still group chat. We still check in. Like I just checked in with them. Like we went to Vegas to see Wu-Tang. Now that doesn't mean I don't have other brothers, right? Corey's my brother, right? So, but we've known each other a very, very long time. And it didn't start out as a brotherhood. It started out as, hey, we're working together. We could do this. And so, yeah, yeah, basically. And the thing is like you just got to be open and honest. You gotta be honest with your peoples because we can't hold this all in. I know it sounds cool, but we can't. We just can't. It brings us to an early death. It makes us miserable at home. And so um and being willing to cry, right? And this is something that is a little taboo. And it's the one thing I encourage at my gym. Just let those tears out, yo. Let them out because you'll empty the cup. You'll empty the cup enough to let something new in. Now, I'm not, and the difference is don't cry and fall apart and then not be able to get up and go forward. It's you still got to do the work. You still got to get up. You still got to go forward. But let it out. Let the emotional cup empty. Now, when you start doing these things, all these things, you're rebuilding who you are in a positive way. Now, you add reading of books, you add in listening to what I call old heads, right? And you don't have to follow everything they say, but they've lived a life and probably made a lot of dumb mistakes. We call that wisdom. experience. Listen to them. Listen to them. Take their advice. Listen to your boys. Right? There's a book, The Way of a Superior Man. Love this book. Chapters are short. Like, love this book. And The Way of a Superior Man. David Drita or something. I don't know. I don't remember the author's name, but is that her name Denise? Is that Denise? His name? Her name? I can't see the picture. Denise on the chat. I'll comment on that in a second. So what I was going to say though is in this book it talks about men needing other men, and I agree. And the reason why you do the example they gave is, let's say this man is working, right? And he's working, he's married, he's got kids, he's working around this woman, and they're flirting, they find each other attractive, and he just keeps, every time he's with this group, he's talking to his guys, he's like, man, I really want to sleep with her. I really want to sleep with her. I really want to sleep with her. And finally his boy was like, look, you've been talking about this woman too much. Either you got 24 hours to sleep with her or don't. Shoot your shot or not. And because somebody put him on the spot, he thought about it and decided, hey, you're right. I'm putting too much energy in this person. I'm going to now put this energy into my family, into what I'm doing, into work, whatever the case may be. It's nobody judged him. Nobody cared if he went and slept with this woman. They were just sick. Like, you're spending too much time thinking about this. Shit or get off the pot, right? Do something. So you can now apply this energy into something else, right? No judgment. Do it or do nothing. But you have to move. And sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need your boys to tell you, like, do it or don't do it, or like share their thoughts about it. And that's big. Now, Denise said, I did rebuild who I was. I was with the narcissist who took me away from everyone and everything. Ha! Denise, did he hold you at gunpoint? This one might hurt your feelings a little bit. Did he hold you at gunpoint? He held you. Yep. Then why didn't you call the police? At some point, it is. It's that simple. Your fears make it harder. She said, in no phone in West Virginia? Okay, so you no. You weren't with a narcissist. You were kidnapped. You were with that. That's not just a narcissist. You, from what you're saying, is basically he held you hostage. That man was a terrorist. Understand, there's a difference. There's a huge difference because he had you at gunpoint. You were a victim, right? So don't just leave. If you don't sell this the right way in your own brain, you can't even come back from that, right? You're with a terrorist. He held you at gunpoint and wouldn't let you leave, right? So now you were afraid of you being killed or your kids being killed. He held you at gunpoint, right? Basically, I'm guessing he always locked them up. Yeah. So this is different. You see what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't just a narcissist. He was literally a terrorist in your life. It's beyond that. If you just say he's a narcissist, it's beyond that. It's literally beyond that.
But the fears, I'm sure what she's.
If he had no gun, I can't buy into that because I've been there as a kid. I've been there as a teenager. I've been beaten. I've been this. I've gone through this. I understand what the mental fears are. I understand what they are. However, understand you have a choice. You can let the fears keep you from moving forward, or you can overcome them. It's that simple. Didn't say it was easy. It's simple. Now, if a man is holding you against your will, you're a victim. It's no different than if somebody came in here, pointed a gun at me and said, "Give me all your stuff." Like, I'm a victim at that point. I'm stuck. If someone comes into the house and holds me and my family hostage, like, SWAT team is going to be called, right? There's going to be somebody on the phone, a hostage negotiator, right? That's a different type of thing. So if you look at it that way, and if like I'm believing you right now, if that's what happened, you can heal from that a lot quicker, because then you understand, okay, he held me hostage. This wasn't anything I could do. He held me hostage, right? He held me at gunpoint. Oh, he had lots of them. I left a lot, but he always found me and I had no family. So if you got out and you had your kids with you, at some point you got to go to the feds, you got to go to the cops, you got to go to somewhere. Yeah, and you got to break away. Like I'm telling you that once you got out, if you didn't report him, right, you're setting yourself up for failure. You have to report that. You have to put it on file, because even if nothing happens the first time, you keep putting it on file. And we live in a society now where they really will, they have no problem going after these guys usually.
There's fears there though that are,
It doesn't matter though. If once you got your kids out,
but the courts will give this person
It-
the kids.
I got away, I had to leave the state. Lots of well, I can't see that. Lots of cases of,
Violence against them.
yeah, and that's what you got to do. Like, we're not even talking about court. I'm saying you got to file reports.
Right.
It doesn't matter. And like, once I was safe with my kids away, it didn't matter anymore. There you go. Like, all the fears in the world are valid. You still got to dip and you still got to make the reports. So cool. She's making the reports. And that's honestly, if you were a friend of mine, I would have said you got to learn how to defend yourself, and you better learn, and you better get a gun, and you better learn how to fire it, and you better learn how to do yourself. And yeah, you rebuilt yourself. You came back. But rebuilding yourself was facing those fears and dealing with that. No one's saying, so when you, Melissa, when you say there's fears, no one's denying there's fears. I'm saying the same fears that she had in those situations that you're talking about is the same fear that a man has that a woman's going to break his heart. You can't care. You have to go through those fears. Otherwise, it's going to stop you from doing whatever. Oh, what if I lose my kids in court? I'm going to fear this. What's better? Stay there and be held hostage? And
Some instances it feels like it's better because you feel like you have that control in keeping your kids safe. Because for my situation specifically, I don't want to speak to hers, but staying felt like the only option if because I couldn't deal with the idea of them having to go without me and not know if they're safe or not.
yeah, you got to just say screw it, and you got to take them with you, and then let it legally play out, and then do everything you can. Like, no one's saying it's easy. Well, like, what I'm saying is like, if you cater to those feelings, you're literally showing that you've stopped.
And in my situation, I do wish I would have left earlier, and my kids wish that as well. But in that moment,
Yeah,
I feel like I could.
fear had you
And
pinned.
yeah, and other scenario, and we can play out every small scenario, but bottom line, I had to get ready and build myself up to be able to do it.
It was not easy, but I only have to be better than I used to be, and I'm so much different. Back to who I. Yeah, that Denise, cool. I love that. I love that for you. That's incredible. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You have to rebuild yourself. Like I'm talking about men because I'm a man, right? I I, I can give tips on how, like, most of the things that I said apply to women too, right? But there are differences in how we view the world and how we react to the world. So I'm not going to tell a woman how to rebuild herself. I'm not a woman. So it's cool to hear you talk about rebuilding yourself and just recognize that you were a victim. And since there were guns involved and holding hostage and things like that, for sure you were a victim there. But you don't have to.
Didn't stay a victim.
Yeah, you don't have to. You didn't stay a victim, and you don't have to be in a victim mentality now. And that is a huge difference. And that's basically what I'm trying to explain to the men. Like, don't be a victim. Oh my God, she broke my heart. Like, okay. Like, so every move you're gonna make now is because she broke your heart? Man, if I had some baby powder, I would love to smack you. Bop! Right upside the head. Leave a baby powder handprint on your face. Stop being soft, yo. Like, suck that up. Get up, brush yourself off, take it as an L, and move on. Like, I think every guy in this studio has probably gotten their heart broken. Maybe not Tyler. I don't know. Tyler, have you had your heart broken? Yeah, there it is. Every guy. So every guy in the studio. Like, I only said that about Tyler because he's young, and I don't know if he's been in many relationships. So, like, I don't know, but every guy's had his heart broken. Usually, it happens. You go out and treat a girl like trash. That's on you. That's not. Don't blame that on women. That's on you. Right, man. The benefit of having a daughter so young, and I say young, I was only 23, about to be 24, is that all I can think about is like, yo, how do I want my daughter to be treated? Let me open this door, because I would open the door for her, right? And just little things. It's really that simple. It's not complicated thing. What'd she say? She said, no, down. Down. Well, oh, we are victorious today. No victim mentality. Here we are learning, we are winning. Yeah. I want way better for my life. They all want to. Yeah. Yes. Oh, y'all having y'all little queen talk. Look at that. Y'all cute. Y'all, that's funny. It's amazing. I'm talking about men stuff, and I got more women commenting. Always happens. It's funny. What you think, Corey? What you think about what I'm talking about? What I said?
I think
Anything to add in?
nothing to add, but I think there's just some universal truths that no matter if you're a man or woman or whatever it may be, that are still applicable and that apply.
Yeah.
And that everybody can pull from this talk.
Yeah. I mean, I've been there. I've been the dude who's like, man, I ain't settling down with no girl right now. They gonna get what they get. But like, I guess I never went out of my way to like hurt a girl or hurt a woman. Right. That wasn't an end goal. Like, usually I was up front. Like, this is what it is. If you're looking for something more, I'm not coming. So don't get mad at me later if you want something more and I'm telling you there's nothing more. And so, and it is what it is, right? And there's nothing wrong with that if you're honest. We have to be the example of what we want to see our kids be better humans than us. Yeah, exactly.
How do you
Good,
feel about like
good morning.
if
Um,
what's meant for you will find you?
What's meant for me will find me.
Yeah. So what you're. Mhm.
Yeah,
put it in the chat.
what's meant for me will find me. Are you talking about specific in relationships or just in general in life?
Mm,
You know what? They both.
in general, but
No, I don't agree with that.
like in the sense, well,
I don't agree if I
what we
just
were talking about.
like if I sit back, right? If I sit back and I didn't buy my gym, but I thought about buying my gym and I didn't do it, the universe isn't going to just give that to me. Like I have to do something to spark that. And the same honestly, the same thing in relationships. This is why I tell people to focus on rebuilding themselves. Build yourself. And why I tell men to build themselves, because like you don't have to go chase women down. Focus on building yourself. And a woman will like you will meet a woman. Whether it works or not, I don't know, but you'll link up in something that you're doing, right? But you're working on improving self. You're rebuilding yourself. You're adding things to yourself. And in that process, you will meet someone. So if I just wanted to sit in my basement and play video games and think that I'm going to get some girl that way, chances are slim to none, right? Now, if I'm playing down in my basement playing video games and that's my career and I'm still going to train and I'm reading and I'm doing other things, my chances increase because I'm just doing more with my life.
Yeah. No, just kidding.
I mean, I know some gamers that are like millionaires right now that are streaming like crazy, but they've built themselves up. Whether it's good or bad, they've built themselves up. Yeah, like who's that? I can't remember the streamer that everybody's talking about. He might be dating Iggy Azalea or whatever her name is. No, not Kai. No, it's this little nerd. He's Persian or Middle East or something. I don't know. But he's a multimillionaire. She's got more money than Nia. Yeah, he's but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's look. I just told this to a guy, and because I know I have women in here, this is gonna this might hit their eardrums a little rough. Women pick the same dudes over and over. Typically, the same dudes end up not single, right? The top 20% of the male species, all women are shooting their shot at them. If you have a job, oh yeah, like he's pulling her. Yeah, you see now, Corey's looking at old dude. Yeah, look, you need to have some intelligence. You need to have money, funny. Like I haven't even got to looks yet, right? So, and here's the big key that women love, that not talked about. They want to know you're passionate about something. You want to build your life up. You are trying to do something with your life. A woman will take a man that's a manager of a McDonald's as long as his dream is to own a McDonald's. She doesn't care. But she needs to see some ambition in you. She needs to know you're safe, right? And women can argue this all they want. You can deny it all you want, but why aren't you letting the dude that works at Target holla at you and get your number? Why aren't you letting the dude that has a crappy car right now get your number? Yeah. Why aren't you letting the dude that like isn't working out get your number? Let him buy you a drink, take you out. You're not doing that. I've seen this as far back as the movie Waiting to Exhale. When she finally gave old boy at her job a shot, right? And she did that just purely because she was tired of getting dogged out by other dudes. She taught him how to be a great lover, how to walk with confidence, and all of a sudden he couldn't keep the girls away. Because the other fact is women smell other women. Why is it when a dude goes on a dry spell, right? He's not getting any women? No women come around. Let him get in a relationship. Woof. Like, it is what it is. Yeah. Because it's a confidence thing. If a guy has a girl, he's carrying himself. He's like feeling like he's the man, right? Which other women find attractive. But also, it's like, wait, this brother's, he's with someone else? I want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all can argue with that if you want, but there's too many facts on that one. Too many facts. That man in McDonald's is even happier than the man on Wall Street. Yeah, because if he wants to work there. But how many women are going to choose that dude? Oh, you work at McDonald's? Yeah. Like, for real? That man's holding down a job, yo. And I bet that man's going to come home and be happy to be with you. I did. My guy had a, what's that say? A Bronco that the driver, he was nice. He was nice to me. He listened to me. We went to a laundromat together. Yeah.
Someone said, "Yo, that's wild."
The fact that, but the fact that that a woman took a guy and he didn't have none of that, that's a rare thing. It's a rare thing. That's why, like, if you find a woman when you're building, you hang on to that woman. Look at all, Snoop ain't get rid of his wife. Cube didn't get rid of his wife. You see these brothers, like, man, now he's driving a brand new car. He has a car payment. Yeah. They think it don't make dollars if it don't make sense. And there's no, oh, did she just, that sound like Jay-Z almost. But now I'm like, look, this is why men, you must focus on yourself. Rebuild yourself. Don't let fears get in the way. Build yourself in the way you, like, picture how you envision yourself, right? I know I can picture me in 20 years, right? I picture me 65 getting in a Ford truck. Blue. With a hoodie or a polo on. Right? And driving to go speak. In my vision, it's at a stadium. I also picture myself waking up in the morning, walking outside, getting in a golf cart, and driving to my gym, training people, working all day, coming back, getting on my porch and having a glass of whiskey and sitting on my porch and calling it a day. So everything that I do is towards that, towards those goals. So the way I'm building myself is for that, right? It works for me. Wait, is it safety safety and security, but 100% as long as the man has ambition, drive more than. Yeah, see? I'm not trying to swerve y'all fellas wrong. I'm telling you. Telling you. Sometimes I feel like Hitch. Feel like I'm giving y'all the secrets to everything. The only thing I'm not doing is I'm not stepping in and getting women to get out their own way. That kudos to Hitch in that movie, but I ain't doing that. But if you know yourself and know who you are, it's way easier to be able to handle a relationship if it falls apart or not. Just be people. Why can't people just be people? What do you mean by that, Denise? What do you mean? Why can't people just be people? No, he's trying to get women out of their own way. I mean, he said it. He literally said it at the end of the movie. He's getting women to get out of their own way. Because men, he helps men in being a little bit smoother, but he confident, but he's doing that to get women to stop judging the man.
See what really matters.
Yeah.
Focus on what really matters.
Yeah.
This bro was corny.
Yeah, but like in most cases, the corny guy won't get the girl. But it's the corny guy that will love you. It's the corny guy that will stay at home with you. It's the corny guy that's not going to be at the bar every single night. Not satisfied until everyone is just miserable. I try to stay away from them. I don't understand. Like, why just be people? Why can't people just be people? Not satisfied until everyone is just miserable. I stay away from them. I mean, yeah, I think you're talking about a different subject. I don't know. You too. You have a great Monday as well. So what I would say is that I talk about biology all the time. Certain things are wired in our biology. And some things are just taught in us over so many years. Men put women and children first. Look at a burning building. Who are they saving first? If a ship goes down, who are they saving first? Right? And on and on and on. Save women and children. Right? So men want to protect women, and women want safety and protection emotionally, physically, financially. So you're going to pick for that. Now, sometimes where I think people mess up is they focus on one thing more than the other because they believe it's more important. So if a woman focuses on the finances too much, she might lose out on a brother that has that can build something, right? If she focuses on the looks too much, something else is going to slip. So it's finding that balance. And men have to do the same thing. Like, don't pick the woman that has the Coke bottle shaped body and doesn't have a good heart. That ain't serving you. Right? She doesn't want to follow anything that you do. She doesn't believe in you. That's pointless. I try to be more independent, but still rely on my honey for my car insurance. Independent. Denise, that's interesting. That's really interesting. And so interesting that you said that.
Oh, hold on. I got a sound effect for that.
How can someone be independent in a relationship? Relationships demand, it doesn't matter if you live apart. Relationships demand that you be interdependent onto each other. Other than, what's the point of the relationship? Right? If I'm independent, right? If I'm independent, that means I don't need you for nada. I don't need you for nothing. Nothing.
Legend thinks our car insurance must be high.
I'm a 49, tracked half my age. I'm flattered but not impressed. I'm too busy to become. Yeah, I feel that. We only talk daily. We live in separate homes. I try to pay my. Yeah, paying your own bills doesn't mean you're independent, though. If you're like, this is what I mean. If you spend the night, if he spends the night at your house and someone breaks in the house, you getting up to fight him? You fighting those burglars? That's true independence. If someone tries to steal your purse and he's like, yo, you're independent. You got this. Equality. You good? Is that what you want? We both will do that. Not if he's a good man. That man's going to say, hey, sit your happiness right there. I'm going, like, let me check this out. I'm behind him with my piece. Woman, no. Y'all are nuts. Get that man killed. Because now he's got to worry about you. Yeah. Keep that piece with you in the bedroom. That's his side of the bed. He probably would not let me get up. Exactly. So you're not independent. You're interdependent on each other. So what? You're paying your own bills. Interdependent doesn't mean that he has to pay your bills, right? It just means you guys are holding each other down. Independent is alone, yo. He has his and I have mine. We a team. Yeah, team. Interdependent. Y'all funny. Yeah. Hey, look, I don't care if we in New York. It's gonna go like this. I'm like, hey, Ma, you better stay here. I'm gonna close this door. If someone opens this door, you blast first. She said 5'1". Yeah, you better sit your habit. What you gonna do?
That's why she said low.
Yeah, yo, you better sit your, like, y'all women crack me up some independent. Independent. Let me be independent. Like independent, but she's not independent. I don't know. Independent, free from outside control, not depending on another's authority, not depending on another for livelihood or substance. Independent person or body. So, free from outside control, not depending on another's authority. If someone breaks in the house, you're dependent on him. You want to cuddle with him, right? You want to talk to him, right? Come on, B. Interdependent. You're a team. Like, he's usually not here. I feel you, but you love him. You're with him. You're a team. Once you decide that you are together, you're a team, right? You're functioning as a team. You're now interdependent onto each other. To what extreme is up to you? Independent. Why would anybody want to be independent? That sounds lame. Independent. I want to. The example they give, what is Canada's largest independent investment firm? Independent. I wanted to remain independent in my old age. Yeah. They didn't want to go live with someone. They didn't want to go live at a group home. Well, not group home, but old people's homes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't hear women back in the day say, I want to be independent. Like, that's crazy talk. He's independent. Man. Yeah, that's fine. Independent woman. Yeah, like, look, here, check it. I raised my daughter. Yeah, I raised my daughter to be able to be independent. Since she's been in a relationship, she's been interdependent, right? I don't want a woman that's quote unquote independent. If you want to be independent, then be alone. Be by yourself. Be independent. Because if, and I go to the extreme things, but it just shows it, right? If we're together and someone takes your purse, if you're independent, you could handle that yourself. But that's not how it's going to work. I'm going to open your door. I'm going to pull out your seat. I'm going to pay the bill. And if someone disrespects you, I'm going to pop them dead in the mouth. If someone threatens your life, they're going to have to kill me first. That's how I move. When we walk, you're going to walk on curbside. When we get up to that door at a store, you better wait for me to hold it and open it for you. That's how I move. If my son is with me, then he opens the door if he beats me to the door, right? What are they talking about in here? I'd want my man and expect him to protect. Yeah, but you'd expect for her man to care for her. The alpha in me won't. There's no such thing as an alpha woman, just like there's no such thing as an alpha man. And better yet, if you think about alphas and wolves, it's usually the oldest man. And he's more in the back. He's in the middle to the back to make sure that nobody's coming up. The young pups that are super strong are up front. Like, it's, imagine if I'm walking around saying I'm an alpha man. What the fuck does that mean, man? Like, alpha man. Pfft. That was a term that they use for wolves, and they've gone back and forth whether it's true or not, or animals and things of that nature. You could be a leader. Yeah, definitely. I would agree it's a trauma response to not want to follow a man's lead. And here's the thing. A good leader doesn't make all the decisions. I consider myself a decent leader, right? I still rely on other people because they are in the position where they're in a better position to do certain things than I am. Corey is my pilot, right? We've discussed this. Corey is my pilot. The things that he is good at and great at, I am not. So I trust his judgment, and where he says, when he says move this way, I trust that, right? I do the same thing with women, right? If I'm like, yeah, that's the way I should move, then I move that way, right? That's what being a good leader is. And you got to understand that's why it's an interdependent relationship. It's a team. Michael Jordan won championships when he learned how to pass the ball. Kobe Bryant became a better player when he opened up and had a more emotional type relationship with his teammates. They didn't win any titles when they were independent, when they scored the ball all the time. Allen Iverson, greatest scorer of all time. What, 4 scoring championships? No titles. He did get there. Right. And that's not a dig on him. It's just like you can only get so far by yourself. You want that teammate with you to help you become better. And that's the whole point in rebuilding yourself as a man or as a woman. And sometimes it's not even, I wouldn't even call it a rebuild, it's fine-tuning. right? Or rebuilding certain parts. Hopefully that makes sense to y'all. So, and reacting to a trauma response is just letting fear dictate things. And that's why I find it's more important to me for men to heal themselves in that way than it is for women. I think both need to, but a man needs to understand what causes him pain, what causes those trauma responses so that he can combat it and figure out how to navigate with it. And then it's up to each person to not trigger that if you can help it, right? But the longer we stay in fear and let that dictate everything, we can't fix any of that stuff. And the best way to fix it is just realizing it's in our past, right? And understanding that we're being triggered right now. We gotta chill out. Someone can say something to me. Someone in the studio might be able to say something to me, and it makes me second guess certain things because I can recognize, like, ooh, why is this bothering me? Oh, this is bothering me because this is triggering this thing. Cool. They didn't they didn't cause the harm. So they shouldn't get the blunt of my emotional being right now. Does that make sense to everybody? So it's tough when the past you've been let down and had to do protecting in whatever makes in whatever nature. Wait, Abby on YouTube says you lead the man, you're a leader of the same way, not just women. Wait, can you read that to me, Corey? Did I read that right?
Yeah, but you leave the men. You're a leader of the same way, not just women. Maybe you lead the same way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do lead men the same way. Because leadership is leadership, right? I'm not even the head instructor at my own gym. I have someone that's in a better position to teach Muay Thai and to lead that. I'm the head coach, but he's better at Muay Thai. He's technically better at Muay Thai. I believe, and we've talked about it. If you want to learn a technique, you're better off doing a private lesson with him. If you want to implement it into a fight or into a real situation, you're better off with me, right? Great in both fronts. So how I lead men is I'm 45, yo. I started in my 30s learning Muay Thai. So legend, I ain't trying to hear that. 38 is not too old. You may not be able to do it the same way, but we have 60-year-olds in my gym, so I ain't trying to hear that. Get your butt in the gym. Yeah, they started when they were like 50s. Like, I ain't trying to hear that. Yeah, get in that. But yeah, I do lead men the same way I do lead women because to me it doesn't matter. Now, sometimes I'm a little gentler with women. I rarely will yell at a woman the same way I will a dude, and that's just I just won't do that very often. But even some men I won't yell at because I don't think they can handle it. So it's just understanding that. It's at the end of the day, we all have to rebuild certain things within us and we have to heal certain things within us and we have to get better. For men, journaling, making videos or audio, and you don't got to send it out to the world. I'm not saying that. Sometimes it's just good for yourself, talking about it out loud, realizing and finding that spot where you feel the most, I don't want to say safe, but comfortable. I I find that I do the best talking when I'm in the shower. It's something about water. It's water does something and it like triggers certain things. It's not the same for me to just go walk. Like I can walk and think and I'll talk, but like where I have the dopest conversations is usually in the shower and it's because of the water. right? And so I recognize that. Um, like I said, training, lifting weights, working out, hitting something, like whatever it is, learning, like, and plus, if you're learning a new skill, that really helps as well, right? And you can learn a skill like lifting weights, but definitely training in some way is good for the soul. I'm not saying you got to get cut up in a six pack. I'm saying you got to do something that allows you to sweat, allows you to work, allows you to push through some things, allows you to just take your mind off of certain things. Gaining knowledge, right? Reading books, sometimes listening to podcasts, like do something to become a better person, learn how to become a better person. And listening to older folks, like I said, they have a lot of wisdom. And I mean, that's a great start right there. And everybody's a little bit different, so you can move differently. How you how you speak to women is important. How you treat a woman is important. Like, to just let fear dictate your moves, you're really not living, right? And we've all done it. I'm guilty of it just as the next person. And that's how I know I wasn't living. I was just there. I was just surviving. There was nothing thriving about my life. There was nothing to be excited about. There was nothing to enjoy. It's scarier living this way. I'm not gonna front. I confront fears every day. Like I there's always a fear that what if this new spot fails? I go bankrupt, I lose my house, like all that is constantly going through my head. I let everybody down. I'm El Capitan. If this doesn't work, I'm going to let so many people down. I'm gonna let all my students down. I'm gonna let my family down. Like, this is a legacy. But if I curled up in a ball and let those fears dictate me, if I let those fears make me walk around being an a-hole, like, no, instead, what can I do to keep those fears from happening? Go show up and go to work. And if you didn't get something done at work that day and you recognize you should have, do it tomorrow. Because as long as we're blessed in waking up, whatever I missed or whatever mistake I made, I can fix the next day. I could do better the next day. And that's how you move. That's how you operate. And that's not living in fear. Hopefully this helped y'all, man. Make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe. Keep healing yourself. Keep getting better. Any last thoughts from Corey, Tyler, or Melissa in the studio?
Keep rebuilding. It's a daily choice and it's a work every day on type of thing.
Corey's doing your work for you. They both said the same message. So there you go. All right, y'all. This is You Control You. We out. Peace. INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that means?